Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Jesus from GDevTech, where we talk about growth, development, and technology. This is part 3 of the WordPress theme development tutorial. And today we are gonna start off working on, show you guys real quick, on the social media. That is where we left off on the last live streaming. As you can see, we have our 3 social media links that are identified by the appearance, menu, and in our social media menu we have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. This is all coming in from Font Awesome, and we actually had to go ahead and include a what's called a walker, which I did leave a link in the previous video in part 2. So if you want to jump back, look at part 2, catch up, and then come and jump over here, or you can watch this and then go back and see if that helps you. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's do that. Let's finish up installing this. Again, this probably will be a 1 hour live stream, so let's see what we can go ahead and get done with that hour. Alrighty, let's go ahead and take a look back in our style here. So if I go into my directory, what I want to go ahead and go into is our footer.php, and this is where we're including the social navigation, and that social navigation is calling from our navigation.php, which is under the directory library navigation.php. And this does look different than the part 2 video, and that's because I changed it to a different theme, and I also included another font, and I like this font here. I'll go ahead and show you guys why. Zoom in real quick. You guys can barely see. I love these little indications, these little nice touches of the arrow, and then when you do like a single arrow, it looks like an actual arrow, not like a dash and then a space and then an arrow like that. So yeah, if you guys are interested in knowing what theme I use, or probably leave it like that, that's a good size right there, or interested in what theme I use and what font size I use, please leave me a comment below in the description, or below the description, and hit that like button. Again, if you guys are new to this channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Definitely do appreciate that. Share it to your other developer friends if they're interested in learning more about WordPress and all that stuff. I'll see what I can cover. So back to this before I get sidetracked again. So here's the footer social nav. This is the theme location. We're using BEM again, so I'm able to do footer menu, social menu. Go back to footer.php. We're going to go ahead and do that now. So let's go ahead and keep it all the same. So we're going to do footer menu, copy that. And I'm going to paste that within our footer.php. Save it. And that's pretty much about it there. So now if I go back here and I inspect my element in my theme, you can see, you probably can't, zoom in. All right, so here we can see that I got my footer container. I'm not going to use BEM on that. I'm just going to leave that as is. there. And then we got our footer menu. And then right below our footer menu, we got our footer menu, social menu. So yeah, so that's where we're at now. So we're gonna go ahead and jump over into our footer Sass, and we're gonna go ahead and style this this up. And it's gonna be centered, so we're gonna have to center all this and make the colors white, make them a little bit bigger as well. So let's get to it. All right, let's go under footer.sass, which is right here, and that's under your source directory and Sass, and then your modules in footer.sass. So here I'm gonna go ahead and we don't want a border top, it's coming in manually, so we're gonna leave that there. I'm gonna leave it to calculate 60 pixels in rem. So I'm gonna leave that there. And footer, this is not calling anything, so this is not gonna work for anything. So I'm gonna save that. And then we're gonna go ahead and call in our footer menu. So we can do that footer menu, and within our footer menu we can do the and underscore underscore twice, and we can call in our social menu here. So let's do that. We're going to do social dash menu, and the social menu, it's going to be our UL, our under our unordered list, right? So if we go back to the site, we can see that here's our class social menu. This is our unordered list here. So now we can just go ahead and yeah, just go LI and then target our anchor and then change the color there. So yeah, let's go back into doing that. So here we're gonna go ahead and do LI. Actually, let's align this. So let's do yeah, let's do display flex, and I think it's align content center. We should get that centered. Actually, it's justify content, not align. Justify. Whoa. Justify content center. And then now if we go back to the site, you can see that these are centered. So that's good. Now go back to our editor. I will do an LI. And now here, let's go back to the site and see if we can get it zoomed in more. So you can see how these are close together. Now what I want to do is not put padding, because if I do padding and let's say 15 pixels, right? So we have this whole area where it's highlighted yellow, that's empty space. So if somebody hovers over that, they're not going to be able to click it. So what we want is, instead of padding, we actually want margin. And what I want margin onto, it's going to only be to the right. And we're going to do, let's say 15 pixels. now you can see where it's orange there, it pushes that social media icon, pushes it away from the right. So that way it's not touching these other icons as well, but you're going to still be able to hover over this and it's still going to be clickable. So yeah, so we're going to target all this. So we're going to say we're going to use the last child selector and not have this to be a margin right for the last one. So let's go in to our code again, and then we're going to say margin dash right. It's going to be 15 pixels, and last child margin right, it's going to be 0. So if we go back to the page, we can see that they're separated. So let me zoom back out, scroll back down. So this looks pretty good. Now what we want to go ahead and do is increase this font size and change the color to white. So let's go back into our code editor here, and let's target our anchor, and then we're going to do a simple color of white, and we're going to increase the font size. And the font size, I'm going to go ahead and give it a safe 21 pixels. So let's take a look and see how that turns out. Let's see if I can pull up. Not expecting it to be there. Let's see. All right, so here it is, down here and the bottom. Yeah, let's do. They look pretty big, and actually it's a little bit more spacious, which probably want to. So let's go ahead, let's change the font size, and then we're also going to increase that margin right. So let's do something like 36 pixels, 38. Let's do 38, 36. And then margin right, we're going to do, margin right, we're going to do 28 pixels. So let's go back into our source code, and let's do font size 36 pixels, margin right, it's going to be a simple 28. And if we go back into, there it goes. Feel like maybe we should do some sort of like shadowing, just like the and the navigation. So let's do the same thing that we did in the navigation over here in our social media. So let's go back into our source code here. Actually, lower this down. And let's see here. So if we go back into our navigation, I want to keep everything the same. Desktop menu. All right, so we got desktop menu, our LI, and here's our hover. So here's our hover effect. I'm not going to put any transition, just because I don't think it needs it. So I'll save that, go back over, and now we can see a little, gets darker on hover, which I think it looks good. So we're going to leave that there. That was pretty quick and easy, right? So let me close this out. And actually fits perfectly fine there. In the bottom there is going to be a copyright, and it's going to be something similar to what there is now on the current laurelsimone.com website. So if we go there, we're going to go ahead and add all this: trademark, developed by, and just a small little navigation. So we have the social media here on the left, and it's going to be right on top. So this is going to be right below the social nav. So let's do that now. I am trying to see. Actually, this is a good time to go ahead and show you guys how to do a new widget. So this is pretty cool. So that's what we're going to actually do for this section here. We're just going to do a new widget. So let's do that. And by widget, if you go to appearance, you go to widgets. You should see like this. This is like footer widget, sidebar widget. So we're just going to go ahead and manipulate this. Actually, do we have that? It already has like a footer widget. So my thinking is to go ahead and do a simple text, drop it on here, and then pretty much copy all this and paste it in there. And then now when I save it and I come back to the website and I refresh, doesn't show. And the reason why is because I removed it and we're not calling it again. So let's look back into the code and let's go into our footer.php. It's going to go right below our social nav function there. So here, what we're going to go ahead and do, let's take a look into our library directory, and then we should see another directory that's called widget areas.php. And in here, we're going to see footer widgets, and this is actually what we're going to be calling so that it can display. Sorry, wasn't thinking. So we're going to call this ID footer-widgets so that the text that we entered into the widget area can now populate. So if we go ahead and take a look and we go into, see how we have sidebar.widgets, and we can go into our sidebar.php, and then we can see how they're using this dynamic underscore sidebar function. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this, come over to our footer.php, and now this dynamic underscore sidebar function is from PHP, and it has a single parameter. I think it has 2 parameters. I'm not going to jump in and look at that, but let's go ahead and now change the dynamic sidebar to what we called, save that, and let's go back into our library and widget areas, and it's going to be footer underscore widgets. Copy that, and we're going to replace the sidebar widgets, and we're going to paste that, and we're going to save it, and we're going to jump back over to the website, and now we have this information. Look at that. That was easy. Easy, simple. So now if we go ahead and take a look at this code, we have our section, and it has an ID of text2, it has a class, large 4 columns. So all of this within this class, we're going to go ahead and change right now. So let's go ahead and jump back to the code. Let's go into our widgets area, that's PHP, and let's go ahead and remove this class here with the exception of widget. So here I'm just going to go ahead and do what do we call it, footer menu, and the element will be footer dash widget footer dash naming conventions. Always like figuring out a name for certain things, it's always tough for me. Let's say footer links, footer dash links, or footer copyright. There you go, copyright. Yeah, there you go, footer dash copyright. So we have our class footer dash copyright. We're going to leave the ID there, that's fine. What else do we have to change? Nothing else, so let's save that. Let's go back into our SAS, and then right under our social menu class there, we're going to do the and symbol underscore underscore, and we're going to do footer dash copyright, and let's take a look at the source code because I just copied and pasted from another one. So let's see how they did it. It's just anchor tags. Yeah. So let's do. Yeah, let's go section div class text widget. Where's this column from? Text widget. Is that something that WordPress probably puts? Wraps it into. Okay. Yeah. So let's go ahead. We're gonna get our footer copyright. We're gonna do a display flex, and then we're just gonna grab our anchors and make it work. So let's go back into the code, and I'm pretty much gonna just copy all this, paste it. We're gonna go ahead and take out this li and fix that indentation. Now we have an anchor, color, save. Yeah, so now if we look at it, here it is here, and then they're huge because of the social media links. So let's go back and let's do a simple 21 pixels, 16 pixels actually. Save that. That looks good, but yeah, because the paragraph should be 16 pixels by default. And I'm looking into our inspect element. If I go to compute, you can actually take a look at font size 16. Yeah, so they're all 16, and actually this looks pretty good like this. Trademark, Laurel Simone, developed by. We got our legal. It wraps perfectly too, so that's good. I'm happy with that. So that was pretty easy. Go back to the source code again. What we just did, this sidebar already was registered, so we didn't have to do too much coding. And this is in the widgets area.php. we basically go ahead and call this using dynamic underscore sidebar, and then calling in the sidebar ID, which is footer widgets, and that's what it's calling from to get that content from WordPress footer widgets. So yeah, so now we're done with that. We got our social media, we got this, we got the navigation. Are we good with the navigation? Yeah, I know that was an issue with that, but I think we're good. Oops. All right, so let's see here. We got about portfolio, blah, 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 blah. All right, cool. So what's next? What is next? See if we can get one of these inside pages done. Let's do the about page. See if we can go one by one. So let's go to about. We have meet the artist. And if we look here, you can see that the goal is to try to keep everything centered from what I see here. I don't know. And then this, they can just go ahead and upload a grayscale image. I'm not going to use CSS. So I am debating whether this should actually be in a grid then, or entry content. Width. So what's the width? It's 1,500. What if I go ahead and do, let's go back into our code, let's go back into settings, and oh, here we go, the global width. Let's see if we can change that global width to, let's do 1,400. There we go, a little bit better. Yeah, a little bit better. I think I like that one. So let's go back to the home page. So with this, I will, yeah, let's modify this. So let's kind of don't want it, because if the screen gets stretched out, that means that's going to have to stretch with it. Don't want it to stretch. So I'm going to leave it like this. I don't know how I feel about this, but I'm going to leave it like this for now. And I think I'm going to take another look at it probably tomorrow and see how I feel about that. But I like this. I like the content being contained to a certain width. These tiles things, these tiles, I don't know if I like it constrained to a certain width. I think it should be full width no matter what. But let's continue on. So let's go into portfolio. All right, so this is a custom post type. This is a custom post type that I created, which is called LS tiles. And now there's nothing found, because if I go into my appearance, menus, and I go ahead and check my main menu, select that, then I go into portfolio, LS tiles categories, called portfolios. So that means if I go into LS tiles categories, the one that I create, there is no content. But now if I go ahead and say add, and I say, what do I say? I say, what is this? On a portfolio. I do a portfolio. There it goes. So here's the portfolio. We have process, textiles, collection, and accessories. And then, so if you click on process, then this is how the process is going to look. Now for this, I'm not sure if this is going to be a slider, and this is going to be, here, this is what I'm looking at here. I'll draw this out. So it gets cut right here, right? And then it gets cut like this. And then we have another content right here where we have, whoa, we have that, and then that other piece right there. Where's my eraser? There it goes. So you can take a look here and you can see we have concept, sketches, and then draping. So in my eyes, when I look at this, I'm like, okay, so we're gonna have, is this gonna be a slider where somebody's gonna be able to like just swipe to the left so that they can go ahead and see this draping? Or is this just static content where people are going to be able to just click and click? Like, probably need a little bit more background into what's going to be there, or maybe it's just static. Maybe this is how it needs to be. Whoa, not what I wanted to do. So probably need a little bit more background on this and on the idea of doing it like this, and see where we go. So right now it's going to be static. So let's see how far we can do. Yes, that's fine. See how far we can get. So process, process. So I will go ahead and I'm going to do this as title process, and there's no content whatsoever, so I'm not gonna, this is not gonna allow, but I will go ahead and call in a featured image. So I'm gonna use the same featured image here. There's not gonna be a need for any actually, shoot, no. So this is the actual, so the tile is the actual is the actual inside page. So where's my image? So this, it's going to be the content of that tile, and it's going to be related to portfolio, or yeah. So let's go back. So yeah, so this is actually going to be off of the category. So these are the categories, and when they click into the category, we're going to see the post that's related to that category, which is going to be this. Yeah. I am thinking right now, see if there's an easier way to doing this. Not an easier way, but a better way. But a better way to do this. Not an easy way, but a better way to do this. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So we have because if you create another post and you click back to portfolio, then you're going to get another item down here. Okay, so let's just work on this real quick. Let's see if we can get this out of the way tonight. So let's do that. So it's actually going to be in my categories, which is also called a custom taxonomy. And I will do, what are we working on again? Portfolio, that's right. So then on portfolio, if I go ahead and click on portfolio, it actually gives me an ability to go ahead and do a tile image. And the way that I was able to do that is going back into my code here. If I go into ACF, in ACF it's Advanced Custom Fields. If you do a Google search for Advanced Custom Fields, it's a plugin that's for WordPress, so you can automatically just create fields using that plugin. So here I'm not even gonna go through this because the user interface, let me see if I can pull this up real quick so you guys can see. So if I do a Google search for Advanced Custom Fields, yeah, so easily you can add any fields to populate within anywhere of your WordPress dashboard. And when you include that custom field, then you can actually call in that custom field to show into the front end, if that makes sense. So here, if I add an image, and the image would be this one here, and then I say update, then this image is going to show up here in this background. Okay, so let's make that possible by calling that advanced custom field. Yeah. So as you can see, we got LS and then portfolio. So now if I go into the code, actually no. So this is a if you guys do a quick Google search for WordPress hierarchy, and then just go to that first one, and I think interact with this diagram. So it's called wphierarchy.com, actually, the website. And if you save that into your bookmark, if you're actually looking into building WordPress sites, because this is going to be definitely helpful. So this is the hierarchy on how the page is going to be displayed based on what you have set up for the file name. So for example, if I go ahead and let's take a look at this custom post type, or I should say. So as you can see here, it says archive dash and then the post type.php. So we're going to have to create a name called archive dash and then the post type.php. And that's going to show us all the archives, which is not what I want right now. I want the what do I want? I want Okay, so I want all the categories with the post type ls tile to be displayed. So let's do that. Let's break it down right now. Okay, so step one is I want to go ahead and grab all of my categories for the post type ls tile, which you can see here. After getting all the categories, then I'm going to start including my featured image. So let's do that. And if you're new, don't be afraid to go ahead and do a quick Google search on how to go ahead and do this. And I know a lot of people don't like doing it, especially when they're giving out tutorials, but I think it's a good way of educating and learning to see how to read documentation, just because not a lot of people do that on these tutorials. So for example, so if you're new, the question that you should be asking, or you just ask on Google and they'll find something that's similar. So right now, for example, my question would be getting all taxonomies for custom post type. So now I would say here, I would say get taxonomy for custom post type. All right, so the first one is usually pretty good. So we have get to terms, WordPress function with a post ID and a taxonomy name. I don't think this is what I want either. Get to terms. See, this is not what I want. It's our cache. Not what I want. Not what I want. Do what you want. Taxonomy. All right. Get custom taxonomies. Get taxonomies. Here we go. That was easy, right? So now, if we go back into the code, let's do, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Okay, so I know what I'm gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and create a page. Hold on. So portfolio, we have process, text sauce, collection, and accessories. Okay. No, what am I thinking? What am I doing? I was doing it right the first time. Yeah, that's gonna happen to most of you guys if you guys experience. So I was doing it right the first time. All right. So we're gonna have process. It's gonna be called process, and then we're gonna go ahead and select portfolio because it's gonna be the portfolio. And there, so we got process. Wow. Yeah. Okay. And then we're gonna do a featured image, set featured image, and then actually Oh, I should have. Darn. I should have done it for this post. Yeah, so what I wanted was something like what I did for the homepage. So we're going to do that now, actually. See how this is tiles? This is exactly what I want. Has an image, link, boom, boom, simple. Yeah. It's exactly what I want. So let's manipulate the advanced custom fields. So let's do that. We're going to go into process, and we're going to jump back into the code. And then I'm going to go into my ACF init, move this over to the right. We got, here we go, we got homepage. And what I want to do is we're going to copy all of this. Actually, no, because each one has a different key that gets created. So let's go back. I'll show you guys here. So here's advanced custom fields. Right now we got test. I'm going to go ahead and just delete that because we don't need that. I'm going to go ahead and say add new, and within here I'm going to go ahead and say I'll do ls tile, and then I'm going to say field label. What do we need? We need a image, we need a link, and we need text. Image, link, and text, which is how I set up the home page, right? We got, oh, and the overlay color. Yeah. So we'll do this right now. And then see how far we can get to. Alright, so let's do field label. Did I do this as a repeater? Yeah, did this as a repeater. So the repeater is actually gives you the ability to keep adding a row. So let's go ahead and I'm just gonna copy all this. We'll do overlay color. Where's my repeater? So if I scroll down, I say repeater, and then field name would be ls tile post, right? Sure, why not? All right, and then here we would call overlay color with that extra space. Boom. It will be a drop down, right? I think that's how I did it. I did it as a drop down. So we're gonna do, what is the drop down? Select. Yeah, select. So choice select. And then I'm gonna do, what did we do? We did left, hit enter, and then right. Oh no, yeah, all that is fine. Minimize this here and add another field, and I will call it title. Actually, can I just bring the title of the page? The title. Yeah, so I won't need the title. We'll just do image. And image. And the image will be image. Sure, we'll do an image array, but I'm going to do medium. And yeah, and then what else? What else? And then we need the link. And then the link in here tonight, capitalize. What am I doing? Image, image, overlay color. All right, So we got overlay color, we got an image, we got a link, and in the link, the field type will actually be page link. And then now if I say that's it, and then I go down here to post type is equal to ls tile. So now if I publish, and then I go back into my ls tiles, we're going to see that down here. So you got overlay color, image, link. So if I do add row, left, right, boom, boom. So, and then the link, see how we have these different pages? It's like a drop down, so it's not a copy and paste anymore, and that's because it's going to be, it's always going to be to a page that's within this post. So yeah. Yeah. This is we don't need a link. So I'm only going to be calling these images. I'm only going to be calling the image and the title. Yeah. So I'm only going to be calling the image and this overlay color. We don't need a link because this is going to be our permalink that we're going to call. I don't know what I was thinking. Delete, update, and then what I want to do as well, I'll leave the content editor there. So now, if I go into tools, and then I say field ls title, and I say generate export code, it gives us a simple code that I'm going to go and grab. I'm going to say copy that, and then I'm going to go back into our code editor here, and I will go ahead and come down here, and I'm going to say custom post type ls tile. Paste that in there. For some reason that's bad indentation, so fix that, and fix this indentation as well, and we're good. We are good. So now if I save this, and then I go back into my custom field groups, and I say trash, and then I go back here and I refresh this page, I should still see this, and I do. So everything's working good. I'm happy. So now what are we gonna do? What we gonna do? So now on our next video is where we're gonna go ahead and then pull in those advanced custom fields, which is actually gonna be exciting. Pull in those advanced custom fields, so we have the title process shows up there, our our featured image can show up there as well, and then we're going to make it a link to the permalink, so it can go, and this image is going to be this here. We have concept, sketches, and drape. So this is what is going to be our inside page. So every think we should just have a overlay color. Ooh, yeah, we can do that on the next video. But yeah, so that should be exciting. So what we got done is we got our social navigation. We looked into getting the sidebar widgets for the footer done as well with the copyright information. And then on the next video, we're just going to go ahead and now focus on the portfolio page and get going with that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, my name is Jesus from GDevTech. If you guys like this live streaming, please let me know. Hit up the comments below. I'll respond to you as quickly as I can. Hit that like button. Share it with your friends or dev friends or other social developers out there that are curious about WordPress or interested or have questions or whatever. Link them over here to my YouTube channel. Show some love by hitting that subscribe button, and then for reminders, there's going to be a little bell. So if you guys don't know what that is, the little bell is, I go in here and I go into the YouTube, and then I open up a video, and then if you click a little bell, that's right, usually it's right here on the side of the video down here. That's a little notification. So if you want to keep in touch with all of my live streamings, hit that notification. It's going to notify you when I'm going to be live streaming. Thank you guys so much, and until next Sunday.